I'm gonna go use the bathroom. You can get your scans and shit. I'll be back. Back. You got your scans.
No, not quite yet, man.
I mean, I guess since you're getting your scans, I mean, Harold's scaling is kind of simple, and you probably agree with this. So I'll just say his scaling. You could scale Loki, but you agree he scales above like Rocks, who's the strongest adversary of Roger, right?
No, I disagree.
Okay, I
I
just
guess.
make sure.
Okay, wait. So you're just gonna go first because I don't have my panels yet.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, you agree base Harold's relative to what's his name? Um, fucking Roger. I meant Rocks. My bad.
Do I think base hair? Which version of rocks?
The version of Rocks that he fought before it got Valley.
I think he's relative to like rocks 10 years prior to God Valley, like when they fought initially. I'm not sure if he's relative to rocks past that point.
All right, I'm gonna show you scans. What I think though. Chapter do they fight? I gotta get my scans too.
It's all good.
Girl, what chapter do they fight? Oh, here it is.
The,
Nah, I found
uh,
it.
okay.
Also, do you not have like Holy Knight Herald like just Rada Loki? Like, where do you have them? Because I mean, like, we could just make it quicker, so I don't have to scale them. Because
Holy Knight Herald.
yeah,
What do you mean Holy Knight? Like before the Covenant?
talking about Holy Knight Herald like with the imp from Emo.
Do I think he's relative to Loki?
Yeah, just like where do you scale him? Because like I might just grant whatever scaling you have for him, since I don't really think Loki
I
scales
think he's
anywhere
relative
anyway.
to I think he's relative to pre-Ragnar Loki.
Oh, well, I don't think he scales anywhere, so that'd be kind of redundant. So I won't agree with that. Well, I mean, yeah, that's really bad. Trying to find where it says they had like a 5 kilometer clash.
I mean, we could just make this a lot faster since I think I already know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say like rocks, like rocks at this point, and Harold are like relative to each other, which I don't disagree with. I just have like issues with it connecting back to like say God Valley rocks.
Why?
Okay, so it's just gonna be the case that Loki, no, not Loki, Harold and Rocks fought back when like Rocks was around like 25 years old. It would be the case that like this is gonna be like a rookie version of Rocks. Rocks hasn't really done much yet. This is basically like his debut as a rookie by the time Harold fights him. So it would just be the case that this is gonna be a Rocks that has not really gone through any of it, like the experiences that would typically make you stronger within the One Piece verse. For instance, life or death situations, like extended battles, etc., etc. So it would just be the case that this Lorax is not like basically nowhere near his prime at this point in the story, and it would be the case that like he also probably got stronger like throughout the years following into God Valley due to the fact that he would have Davy back fights with a lot of the people that he would get into his crew, taking over countries, defeating a bunch of armies, etc., for decades on end. So basically him being an extremely active pirate on the seas in conjunction with the fact that he just be getting older. Getting older would also be an amp to him because characters in One Piece typically shown are gonna be in their primes in like their 40s or 50s. Rox was not in either of those ages yet at the time of the fight. So Rox basically like intuitively is just not going to be anywhere near his prime when he fights Harold, and he's going to become much stronger past that point. I don't think Harold has any connected scaling to Rox past that point.
All right. For one, the argument for that being the rookie version of him. For two, when you talk about it intuitively seeming that he can get stronger, what's the argument for there being some characters there that would even allow for him to grow on those sort of margins? And then for three, what's the argument for even if it was a earlier version of him, it will correlate to him being stronger given those two factors.
Okay, so number one, the people that he would be fighting is just going to be people like Garp, Roger, the other members of the Rock's crew. And also it would just be whatever other random NPCs or like armies that he would also just be fighting whilst he's taking over kingdoms. And he'd be doing this for a prolonged period of time, so we're talking years, because the second time that they fight is multiple years after the first. So it would just be the passage of time and the people that he fought, which would lead credence into believing that he probably got stronger. And I also want to remind you that like I am not just arguing just because he did all these battles is also just to be the main reason as to why he got stronger. I'm also using this in conjunction with the fact that he's going to be getting older. Him getting older is just going to increase the likelihood of him getting stronger because your prime age in One Piece is typically shown to be around your 40s and 50s. I can provide scans for that if you want them.
Well, that's just a question bag, bro. Okay. So the reason that's a question bag is because that only follow if it seemed to be the case that there was a character in which they even correlated to him to where if he fought them, he would grow in those sort of margins, which I just asked you to prove. Okay. All you just gave me evidence for is that he fights these characters, but you're not explaining why these characters actually are at the level to where if he fights them, he's going to grow in these sort of margins. So you didn't really answer the question. I already understood that part of the argument.
Okay, wait. So one, I would like to ask you for reasoning as to why that's gonna be even a relevant question. I'm not sure why would be the case where characters have to be a specific threshold or level in order to become stronger upon defeating him. Defeating them, number one. Number two, we do know that there are two characters in specific who are just stated to rival Rocks, and it's literally just like Roger and Garp. It's stated in the Era of Love chapter that these three were like the main running legends and like rivals to each other during the Era of Love. I can grab that scan as well. So he would have had people around his skill level.
All right. Well, for one, it's a relevant question because obviously when you're talking about the character growing in strength, when you're fighting somebody that doesn't really scale correlatively to you at all, there's obviously no reason to believe that you're going to be growing, right? There'll be some sort of factor there that led us to the idea that you would grow in strength. So that's kind of like the most simple way to put it. And can you send the scan for it was implied that they're relative?
Sure. Also, I just want to say that's literally a question, Big. You're saying that like there'd be no reason for someone to become stronger if they're like much weaker than you and you defeat them. That's literally what I put into question. But okay.
What you just asked me was why that wasn't a relevant question. What are you talking about? You didn't ask me to prove that that was going to be the case. You asked why that was a relevant question. I explained it. What are you talking about?
I said both, man. But hey,
Okay. Well,
let's
I
get
mean,
it.
I could explain that. I didn't really hear you question that, but it's going to be the case because I mean, obviously, when you're talking about somebody growing, growth is typically indulged from some sort of comparative combat feat. That's typically how growth is implied. That's why.
EP, bro. Whatever happened to that Zang shit?
What you mean? What you mean by that? Nigga leave after he asked that. What the fuck?
Hmm. Okay, I got the. Am I allowed to ask people for scans if I don't already have them?
Yeah, bro, go ahead.
Okay, does anybody just have like Garp and Roger versus Domi Rocks? Like just the entirety of that fight? Because
You're
I'm
about to
also gonna
use
need
them
that.
versus Domi Rocks to prove that they're relative?
Don't try to pre-talk my argument. I haven't said anything yet.
I was just asking. That was a question,
I'm
bro.
not
What?
answering.
I guess.
But
It's
can
like
anyone grab
chapter
that? Or if
1163.
y'all can't grab the scan, can y'all at least tell me what chapter it
It's
is so I can?
1163
It's 1163. I got you.
or 62. 63, actually, yeah. Should be. Or actually, no, that's when the Emu fight starts. So probably like 1168, 71, something like that.
Bruh, how
Emu
does
fight
this
starts.
relate to Loki and Harold?
You'll see.
Um, he's talking
I
about
guess
why Rocks is relative to Garp and Roger.
no. I think it has as Loki though.
hmm I'm scaling Harold, bro.
Oh well. Okay, yeah, this is the strangest argument I've ever seen, bro. It's a way easier Loki argument, but whatever.
He's not giving the Loki argument, bro. I just said I'm
Yeah.
scaling Harold.
Oh,
He
you're
hasn't
going
agreed
first.
that Harold. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It sounded like what's it called? He was like affirming or whatever. What it would sound like, but
I'm literally at the chapter. It won't take much longer. Sorry.
For sure. I don't even know if Cease agreed to judge, so like, I guess I gotta get like somebody else.
He did
Maybe my
not.
nigga HR's
You
in
can
here.
find
HR, you wanna
someone.
judge, bro? I don't know if you listening. Probably at work or some shit. The rec is there though, so you can like watch the rec if you want to judge. If you're not listening.
Okay, I have all my scans. Is there a scan chat by the way, or?
Yeah, yeah. It says scans, bro.
Oh, okay. I didn't even see. What the fuck? Who started playing that? Okay. So now Boolean scans and scans chat. It's listening right now. I have three pieces of evidence that would affirm that Roger and Garp and Rocks are all going to be relative. In the first scan, Roger feels like he has the confidence in order to challenge Rocks on his own home territory. And basically, Rock says, "How many times do I have to tell you to get off my island?" So Rocks has been here several times, and he still is willingly to come back. This would basically entail that like Roger has some kind of confidence or some kind of relativity to given the fact that he does not seem like he's going to deter away from the island, despite the fact that it's going to be on Rox's home territory. In the second scan, it stated that Roger, Garp, and Rox were the three legends of this era. These three being put on a similar pedestal would be indicative of relativity between these three. And basically the other set of scans I sent is literally just Domi Rocks versus Roger. Garp and Roger consistently are able to tag Domi Rocks and evade his attacks. This is going to be relevant because I think Domi Rocks and Base Rocks are pretty similar. I don't really care which one's stronger than which. I'd probably lean towards Domi Rocks being stronger. So if that's going to be the case, it would also be the case that if Garp and Roger are able to tag, react to, and damage Domi Rocks, then intuitively they should be able to also react to, dodge, damage, and attack base rocks. So yeah, these are going to be my pieces of evidence to suggest that these three individuals are going to be relative. What's your response?
Excuse me. For one, what's the argument for him being able to determine his strength? If we're not talking about them actually fighting because you didn't show them fighting, you just showed them interacting with each other. For two, what's the argument for when he's reaching the island? The interaction is something that can tell in the combative interaction. For three, what's the argument for Dome Rocks being above base rocks?
Okay, these are pretty easy burdens to prove, I'm not going to lie. Okay, so number one, the reason why, as to why it's going to be like combat related with like the first scan, and like why the confidence thing matters, it has already been stated that you are able to determine how strong somebody is just by sensing their hockey. So not only would have Roger be able to sense Rox's hockey, since he's been here multiple times, he's able to sense like Rox's. He's presumably sensed Rox's hockey multiple times each time he came to said island. So he would literally have a pretty good gauge on how strong Rox is. And despite this gauge, he still is willing to come there to challenge Rox, right? So this would just mean that he has like intellect on how strong Rox is and some kind of gauge on him to where he feels comfortable showing up on his territory. So that's number one. Number two, the reason why this is going to be combative as well is going to be because Rock says how many times does it take to get off this island. This would imply that obviously Roger would not leave the island willingly, and he had to get forced out of the island in some way, shape, or form. I find it highly unlikely that Roger would just leave the island just because he's told to. He literally argues back right here in the scan. So it's going to be more likely than not that Roxy is going to have to force him out of the island through some kind of combative means. And number three, my evidence for Domi Rocks being stronger than base rocks is just going to be the case that Domi Rocks not only has an ACONC barrier that's going to be like protecting him from damage. That's going to be it's made like Conqueror's hockey. Like I can show that like in full if you want. It would also just be the case that he's a much more wild and unpredictable fighter. Wild unpredictability is going to be correlated to how strong you are. If it's, the reason for that is just going to be because of Damn, I'm talking really fast. I'm actually out of breath. 1 second. Okay.
We could just go over it first, but we go like point by point. It's gonna be like multiple points I make to address those anyway, so we could just go over the first point. But argument
Okay,
for
sure.
the you heard me?
No, it actually didn't.
I said, what's the argument for the observation hockey? The first point.
Okay, for observation hockey. Okay, wait, I can grab the scan. 1 second.
All right.
I think I have the scan like on me. If y'all don't care.
It's stated for like he granted I can ask for scans. It's the scan where like Whitebeard. It's like a Whitebeard. It's in reference to like when Whitebeard sensed Odin. It's from like I'm pretty sure like Databook Grand. Yeah, it was. I forgot which Databook it was, but it was essentially like Whitebeard was able to tell how strong Odin was by sensing his raw hockey alone or something. With his observation hockey. Hold on. If you can't find it, I think I might have it somewhere.
I mean, like, I don't really think that's of course your point. You don't really got to send that scan. I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about. But just to be clear, you're saying that Whitebeard determined that Odin would be at a bare minimum level of fighting based on his observation hockey, right? Or are you
Yes.
trying to argue that he determined the full capacity?
I mean, I don't actually remember what the scan exactly says. I'm pretty sure, like, I think it actually mentioned, like, he could sense Odin's true power. So it actually might be indicative of full power. I would,
Alright.
again, need to find the scan. But, like, hold on. Golden, you said you had it, right? Do you, like, are you looking for it?
No,
'Cause
I
I
had a
agree you
different
can.
scan that just like says something different. So like that's obviously not the scan that you're referring to. So,
Okay. Give me like a second. I'll try and find it.
but like I'll show it to you after because it's like way better. I'm not gonna
Also,
lie.
also, let's do like give me let's do like 10 minutes left for me, and then like you take like 20 minutes on proving your side too. 'Cause, I ain't gonna be in this for y'all day.
I'd rather not do that because I don't want the 10 minutes to wrap up, and I feel like I haven't addressed any of your all of your contentions.
Okay, we could do like 20 then, starting out for me. I guess you want to do like 20.
That's fine. Maybe I don't know. I'm trying to find the scam though. I don't know where it is.
Okay.
Fuck, man. Oh wait, Irk. It's the scan where like it talks about like Whitebeard when he sensed Odin, and it stated that like Whitebeard could feel Odin's power or feel Odin's true power or something like that, like with his hockey. Like a view record or a mod. I think it's in a view record actually. I forgot if it was in a view record or data book, but I just know it wasn't in the manga. Why somebody say milk and cook? Nobody said milk and cookies, dude. Oh my god, dude. I'm getting scan diffed right now, dude. This is annoying.
Actually, you're breath dipping yourself, bro.
Calm down.
You're breath dipping.
Oh, okay, I found it.
All right.
Okay, look in general chats. Okay, it is stated in the Vivre card. Immediately upon landing in Wano country, Whitebeard responds to a surprise attack from Odin. Even before their blades clashed, he had already sensed Odin's true caliber. So, he sensed, presumably with observation hockey, that about like Odin's full power before they even like attacked each other. So this would grant credence to the ability to sense one's combat power utilizing hockey even before you even fight. So obviously this is gonna tie back to what I'm saying.
Let me go look at it.
I talk fast because I'm nervous, by the
Let me
way.
get this. Okay. For one, what's the argument for their observation hockey being correlative in that scenario? Like, obviously, I hope you understand the observation hockey is a technique, so obviously it could vary. For two, what's the argument for you being able to sense, like, let's say, for example, he could sense Odin's power, right? Because it's that specific threshold. What's the argument for that correlating to all the other characters, right? And then for three, what's the argument for when they're talking about true power? They're talking about the specific entire combative prowess.
Okay. Okay, so number one, the use of observation hockey is gonna be what's gonna be inferred with using the scan. Because that's gonna be the only thing correlated to like sensing like
No,
sensing
that
things.
wasn't. I agree. He used observation hockey game. That wasn't what I
Okay.
said.
Okay, wait. If you agree that it was observation hockey, then what's gonna be the contention here?
I'll repeat it, bro. All right. The first contention. What's the argument for the observation hockey that, or the level specifically that he's using, being correlative to his, right? That being Roger. For two, what's the argument for when they're talking about true power? They're talking about the power of the whole entire combative prowess. And for three, what's the argument for when he's sensing this, right? For example, if he can sense this character X, why does this mean that you can sense the true combative power of all characters? That's what I'm asking.
Okay. So the thing is here is that number one, for this specific, I'm pretty sure Rayleigh states that you can sense combat like
Thank
like
God,
sense
bro.
someone's combat power with that too. So if Rayleigh says it, then this seems to be like a general rule of thumb for people with observation hockey. I can try and find that scan as well, but I'm pretty sure Rayleigh even says it. So that in tangent with this was mostly just to prove that how strong you can sense someone is going to be, it's going to be like a more accurate reading. That was the point of the scan, because I can talk about why it means true caliber. So true caliber is just going to be like synonymous with the word strength, power, might, etc. It's going to be also like in context to when the scan is even being in referential to. It's referential to when Whitebeard and Odin were having a combative like scenario or situation. So that would lend credence to the idea that caliber or true caliber is going to be in reference to combat power. And I can send the Rayleigh scan as well.
All right, go ahead.
So, yep.
Yo, can somebody invite Prophet, bro? Can somebody invite Prophet to this bitch? I need a judge, bro. Judge.
That nigga at work right now, bro.
I know he at work, nigga, but you acting like that nigga don't check his phone. Mhm. I
You
don't
don't
need
be
that nigga to
doing,
judge
bro.
immediately,
You don't do the Discord shit, bro. Like
bro.
he told fucking about 3 different niggas he don't be on Discord.
Nigga
I
was
don't even
texting
got
me on
that.
Discord the other day, bro. What are you talking about?
Hey, bro, he's saying entirely different things on live, bro. Maybe he'll join pre shit. Who knows?
I ain't saying like join the Discord. I just want that nigga to judge. I ain't gotta fucking join the community, nigga.
Don't he got to join to get direct though, bro?
No, you just send him the link. Well, I can. Actually, I just text him, bro. Fuck it.
Or Hasbro, I actually thought you weren't gonna bring up the Rayleigh shit. I was about to be disappointed.
Nah. I just wanted to establish. Okay, I don't think you should even be talking, but yeah. All right, so I sent it in
Let's go this
scans.
time.
I said to okay, chill. I sent it in scans. Rayleigh basically says, I sense an insane number of ferocious beasts. Guess how many are stronger than you? Over 500. So so this is honestly gonna lend more credence to the idea that like this is gonna be something more like a general like thing, because not only is he sensing exactly how strong something or someone is, he's sensing this for like a massive amount of people spread across a wide area. So like is going to just be something like, yes, you're gonna be able to sense um you're gonna be able to sense someone's like power, and I'm gonna be using this in conjunction. Remember, I'm gonna be using this in conjunction with the Odin scan. So with these two scans, the likelihood is just gonna be increased to the fact that like you're able to sense someone's like true power with your observation hockey. So do you have any more contentions? Because I feel like we can low-key move
Yeah,
on.
bro. Because you still didn't respond to the burden in which what's the argument for the level that he's sensing still being correlative across all characters. You're just saying that he could sense a character past you. When it's a fucking random wild board, my nigga. I would hope that he could tell how strong a random wild board is, okay? I'm talking about characters like Rocks, who obviously I think is stronger than a fucking wild boar. And Odin.
Don't worry, I got you. I got you. I got you. It's in the same. It's actually in the same page as this, right? So I forget what he says exactly. Basically, after he says this, like Luffy asks him, like, "How? When am I gonna learn that?" It's gonna be like, "Oh, when you master your observation hockey, or like when you learn observation hockey." So it
All
just
right, you
seems
can
to
send
be
it.
something that like anybody with observation hockey can do. I can try and find it.
All right.
It's in this exact same page though. I just don't remember where. I don't know what page this is from. This is really annoying. This is really, really, really annoying. Uh,
Bro, he brought up the wild boars, but what are you talking about, Eric? You did miss something. I'm not gonna lie again. Bro, what?
Okay, so looking scans once again. Luffy asks right after Rayleigh says like the previous scan, "How are you figuring all of this stuff out?" Rayleigh says, "How? It is a power that you need to learn. It is a power known as hockey."
I hope you're not about to question back, bro. How are you figuring all this out? How indeed, bro? I just agreed that he could do that, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You didn't respond to the burden, so we can move on from that
I
point.
I literally did. Do you want me to explain why I did?
But
Okay, then. I'm responding to the burden because it's never specified that any kind of level is going to be required in order to do this. If there was, Rayleigh likely would have just mentioned it. He basically says that you just need hockey to do it. If there was a
bro, the
specific
thing,
level of
the thing that
hockey,
he, bro, the thing that he's doing, whether or not that's correlative to what we're talking about, is in question, bro. Okay, I agree that it's a generalized statement in context towards what he's doing. Okay, whether or not that's correlative to what the topic is in question, dude. That's a question, but it's not
okay,
responding to the burden.
I literally okay. He's telling Luffy, if you want to do this, you got to learn hockey. He's not
Do
saying
what?
with
Do
my
what,
hockey
bro?
alone and with my hockey specifically, I can do this. He's saying if you learn hockey, no other type of restrictions on top, you can just do what I just did.
Right. Okay. And we already talked about what he's doing, so we can move on from that, burden. You're not responding, so we can move on, bro. All right, we can move on from that point. So well, actually, yeah, what was your other points that I was talking about why I was gonna be uh supporting the idea that Roger could sense Rock's power? You made like two other points after that. That was the
Okay, it
first
was
one.
just like it was literally just that like Domi, like Rocks and Roger are relative to Domi Rocks, who should be comparable to base Rocks, and the other one was them being said the three legends. But honestly, we can just move on from this because I feel like I won this point, and I feel like if I win this point, I really don't have to talk about the other
Okay.
two.
Well, we could move on from that point under the idea that if you didn't prove that burden, then it just doesn't go through. Because, like, I mean, it's my other point. So we can agree to move on that, right?
Okay, sure.
All right.
Okay, so basically, the
Phoenix,
next line of my
Phoenix,
like
do not listen
reasoning.
to Phoenix. Do not listen to him. That this cat dude was not tracking yesterday, bro. And he's slow too. That nigga's a retard.
Okay,
This is never mind. I'm gonna just let you keep getting a little diff.
Yeah, bro. Love
everybody be
this.
quiet. Everybody be
All
quiet.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
What was the next line? Okay, so I basically just did all this to prove that Rocks did get stronger over the course of the time, over the course of like
Yeah,
from when he first well
we could
heralds.
just like that. That's basically just that was your response to me saying or you saying why he got stronger. So that's like the whole contingency point. I'm not gonna lie. You can go to your scaling if you want, or actually no. What we can do, we could just move on saying that I quote unquote did prove that he didn't get stronger, and then I'll give my hero scaling.
Okay. We can move on as if you did one, which you didn't, but you did it.
All right. What was the next point? It was him scaling to Rocks. Oh yeah, I just think Rocks is the strongest adversary, as stated. I think he's the strongest adversary, Roger.
Okay, can you send that?
I got you. And find it real quick. Actually, does somebody have that skin? Because like I ain't gonna lie, I do not have no more One Piece skins on my phone. I deleted them all, and I know somebody probably has that shit. Like Golden probably has it. Somebody got that shit. Somebody got that. Before I go look for it, bro. Bro.
Hey
What
man, y'all
skin?
can hurry that shit up, bro.
What
I
skin you
can't. All
talking
right,
about, bro?
send it real quick, Eric. The strongest adversary statement.
You want strongest adversary statement?
Yeah. Somebody send it. Whoever got it.
It's in scans chat, Pew.
I ain't see. Oh well, I mean, if it's in scans chat, it's there. Like stated that he's the strongest adversary, bro. I don't need to look
Okay,
at
I
it,
have
bro.
multiple. I have multiple. I have multiple burns to place on you.
All
Number
right.
one. Why is this going to be an all-time statement? This could simply just be referential to the time Rox was an adversary to Roger. He was the greatest adversary to Roger during the time in which he was alive. So I'm going to need you to justify why this is even going to be an all-time statement. And that's number one. Number two, it's also going to be the case of what does adversary mean? I'm not sure what adversary means. How are you going to correlate that back to any of the other Roger people, people that Roger went up against? Number three, what's going to be where you get the scan from? Let's put that in the question as well.
All
So
right,
it's
I
a valid
got you.
force.
Well, for one, obviously, it seems that it's talking about it all time, given the idea that it's just a generalized statement, in which obviously it's just less likely to be talking about a specific time period because there's no implication as such. For two, the adversary is just definitionally somebody that you have a conflict with. That's correlative to the enemies that you fought. For three, the scan is from like, let me go relook, or somebody else know where it's from. I don't even remember where it's from, but I think it's from like, think it's from what's it called? The fucking like, yeah, Laugh Tale, Road to Laugh Tale. That's what it's called. That's what it's from. Those are the responses, bro.
I'll wait for you to send like Road to Laughter before I respond.
You could just respond to the other points. I'll send it so we can make this shit quicker, bro. Like I said, I'm not trying to, I'll send it.
Okay.
Wait,
Okay. So
what do
number,
you mean by send Road to Laugh Tale? What do you mean by that?
you said like you were gonna
Do you mean
send like
send?
where it's from. So I'm assuming like you're gonna send like it being shown within Road to Laughter.
Oh, so you want proof that it's from Road to Laugh Tale? I got you, bro.
Yeah, as well as why Road to Laughter is gonna be viable.
I got you, bro. That's a different question, but I got you with that too. You can respond to the other burdens though, and the other responses while I get that.
Okay. So number one, it's going to be the case where just because it's going to be a generalized statement does not mean that it's going to lend credence or likelihood to the idea that this is going to be an all-time statement. I'm going to need you to justify that. I already gave a counter interpretation. I would like you to prove that it's going to be the case in which that your interpretation of it being a generalized statement follows with the idea that it's going to be an all-time statement. Number two, you said that adversary is going to be synonymous to enemy. Okay, so I would like you to provide evidence as to why characters like
I
Whitebeard,
didn't even say
Garp,
that, bro.
etc.,
What are
or
you
any of
talking
other
about?
Rogers rivals are going to
That's
be
not even what I
enemies.
said, bro. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? It's not what
Okay,
I
then what
said.
did you say?
I said that an adversary definitionally is someone with a conflict against your idea. Okay, that's what I said.
Okay, so why should we appeal to your definition? What's going to be like the evidence for your definition being valid or something we should take within this debate?
Bro, because it's a colloquial definition.
You says the colloquial definition.
Yes,
Okay, can you define what colloquial means? Because I honestly don't know.
commonly used by the
My
consensus.
God.
You said it's going to be commonly used.
By the consensus.
Okay, can you prove that it's going to be commonly used by the consensus? What the fuck?
Sure, bro. I don't know who said what the fuck. That's what that means, but hey, bro.
No, a colloquial definition is just how some word or given term is
This
used
is
within an
outside
area.
help. Okay, can you tell this is outside
It's
help,
not.
man?
Well, it's not necessarily outside help. He's just very unclear on what some given definition is. And then when I said, "What the fuck," he acted like this guy was right, but he's just clearly wrong about the definition. Because dictionary derives from words, and the way in
Whatever,
which they
bro. You can go
change
back on
into
mute,
a
King. It's all good.
dictionary
You
is
can go back on
proof
mute, King. It's all good.
what
It's
the
all
most
good, King. You can go back.
obvious. I never was muted in the first place. I'm going back on
Yo,
mute with
I
you.
meant mute by like I
chill.
meant mute by like talking, bro. I didn't mean literally mute
Yo,
No,
chill.
I think that this is just a sad point.
type shit. You can
Mayuri,
go
how
back
did you
on mute,
even
bro.
get into the server, bro? This is like a niche One Piece sidecom server.
Because I'm a niche One Piece sidecom debater type shit.
Top five
Why
things
y'all
to
why
hurt
y'all
Trisha.
disrespecting my
Yup,
Erie, bro?
that's self-evident, bro.
All right. I sent it. Well, yeah, it's in scans, I guess, bro. It's in scans. It popped up. It pops up when you search it. Typically, words or definitions that pop up when you search them are the ones that are typically used, bro.
An adversary is an enemy, rival, or opponent who fights, competes, or stands in direct opposition against someone else in a conflict, game, or a legal case.
WPU, this argument's funny. It's like common sense. I don't even know what you're talking about. This is literally common sense on what adversary is game.
No, saying like you
Okay.
said shit on Mario, bro, and it was really funny because he got like one tap by it. Or the Google definitions, bro.
Oh, Google? I mean, this is obvious too. Obviously, when someone pops up on Google, that's what's typically used, bro. That's kind of
Yeah,
obvious too.
no, I don't think it's even like that. I was thinking like sounds kind of retarded, but it's funny. But like
How
it's
does that
actually
sound retarded, nigga? What?
saying you think
Because of
Google
Google?
like it sounds retarded, but like it's not.
Oh,
That's all I'm trying to say.
yes. But yeah, what was your? I don't even think he said a response.
Okay, wait. An enemy or an adversary. So this is gonna be your definition that you're going under?
Yeah,
This is
I
gonna be the
reduced it
colloquial
down.
definition, right?
I reduced it down, but you could say that.
Huh?
Yep.
Okay then. So why? Okay, so you said that this is a colloquial definition. So you said that colloquial definition is gonna be like a definition or like something which we're gonna take because it is commonly used.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so can you prove that this definition in specific is gonna be commonly used?
I already did, bro. You didn't respond. We can move on.
Oh, we move.
Oh,
Okay, that's cool, man. That's cool. That you shouldn't.
oh
What?
shit. Oh
Why did he
shit.
move on? Why did he move on?
Bo?
Why the fuck did he move on?
Because I already responded to that point. That's why, bro.
Dog. Okay, I
There's,
just
look,
was.
look, bro. The reason why is because it's typically used. Okay, that's why we would take that to be the case.
I asked you why it was typically used, and you just
I,
moved
I already
anyway.
said why it's typically used because it pops up when you search it on Google. And when you search something up on Google, the typically used definitions are the ones that pop up. I already said this, bro. I don't know if you
That's
trust me.
that's
Bro, saying
what's in what
axiomatic.
we can move on. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's
That's
fine.
in
Whatever.
question.
No. I mean, it was until you moved on. So whatever, dude.
Yeah, sure.
All right. What's the next part of your chain scale?
What's his name? Um, Characters like Rocks. I meant my bad. Characters like Roger and Garp are adversaries. Um, Obviously we see him fight against them as well as he stated above him. So he has some correlation to them.
Okay, can you
And
repeat
given
that?
that
I'm
we
not gonna
say
lie.
that,
Like your mic started getting a little buggy on my end.
okay, characters like Roger and Garp are going to be correlated to that definition. Given that we see him fight against them as well as he stated above him, we could determine that Harold will also be on that level. And I think that's enough sufficient scaling to scale Harold.
Okay, so yes, so under the assumption that you won the last point, yeah, this would go through. How does this connect back to Loki?
What are you talking about? Connect back to Loki. The
You
first thing
just
that I said, was that I think Harold has better showings. I think Loki lacks those feats.
so your entire argument is an argument from ignorance.
No, I never. Okay, when you say argument for ignorance, it seems that you think I'm trying to make some sort of comparison between the characters. I never made a comparison between the characters. I'm just talking about feats that we see within the story, and who has the better of those showings. That's how we would determine who wins in the fight. I don't know where you got
Okay.
argument for ignorance
Okay,
from,
so
bro.
if you're talking about wait, if we're talking about two characters about who would win in a fight, that is a direct comparison between the two. We are comparing who would win. You're saying
Right.
because
And
Loki
the
lacks that feat,
comparison, right?
that's literally just an argument. You're just saying because Loki has no showings, that would suggest that he is on Harold's level. Harold is just going to be above. That's literally like
How does that
definitively an
suggest
argument
that
from
he's
ignorance.
okay? Well, for one, when you said argument from ignorance, I clarified the comparison and what I was talking about. And for two, I don't know where you got that means that he's on Harold's level, bro. That doesn't follow, bro. That just means
I'm
that
not
he doesn't
saying
have
wait.
any.
I'm not saying
That just
because
wait.
it
Hold on,
is
bro.
an argument from
Hold on, bro.
ignorance that it means that he is on Harold's level. I'm saying that you can't use the lack of evidence to justify that he isn't because that's an argument from
Bro, that's
ignorance.
the whole point, bro. I just explained. Okay, look, I'm not saying that Loki can't be on that level. I'm saying based on what we've seen, there's no argument for such a case. So given that, we wouldn't claim that, and there would be more credence to say that Harold's above him, bro. That's simply what I'm saying, dude.
This is a hedge because you said that Harold was definitively above Loki at the start of the
When did
debate.
I never said anything's definitive. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just
So,
okay. We move on to my scaling, man. This
for
is
sure. I don't know where you got that from. I don't know how you could be definitively above somebody that you don't even know how strong they are, bro. That makes a lot of sense.
it doesn't, but you still said it. What are we doing?
All right.
Okay, it's fine. 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 Grab my scans. Okay. My argument is simply just going to be Loki should have relative speed to Herald plus massively higher AP. So with a combination of these two higher stats, it's going to be more likely to say that Loki would beat him in a combative situation, and or if you were to compare these characters stat by stat, Loki would win.
All right, what's the argument for that?
Okay, so Loki, even before he ever grabs Dragnir, is able to clash evenly with Herald. I can grab this.
Go ahead, bro. And then what's the argument for when he clashed with him? He was going all out. Well, you don't got to scan it. I already know what it looks like. So, like, what's the argument for him going all out? You don't really got to send a scan. I'm not
Going
gonna
all
lie.
out because at this point he is being controlled. At this point, he's being controlled, and there was no signs of him restraining said control. This really creates the idea that he's going all out.
Okay,
What?
the argument, bro. What's the argument for that claim? And what's the argument for the control even being something where we could say he's on full power or something correlative to that?
Okay, wait, let me grab the scan because it's shown within the scan that like Harold's basically not talking. Harold talking is just gonna be correlative to when he is trying to resist the control because he's talking everybody to try and like help them figure out a way to beat him. So it would just be the case that Harold was not being resisted in this specific instance or in this specific clash. Number one, number two. Well, what was the other thing you said? Prove like why being controlled by being controlled by the covenant makes you go full power. Basically, when you're being controlled by the covenant, you basically lose like all sense of self, and you basically turn into like a wilding monster. This happened the same thing with rocks. So it would just be the case that I'm not sure like when he's not resisting the control, it's going to be even likely that he has the capabilities of holding back. I can grab rocks and like when he was tweaking out. So yeah.
All right, you can go ahead and pull those scans up.
All right.
I also want the argument for why when you're talking about a wild animal or tendencies of a wild animal, he even has those. And even if he had tendencies of a wild animal, what's the argument for animals always going all out when they go against any sort of prey, bro? I don't know where you got that from either. It's like saying a fucking wild animal has no type of fucking brain, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know where you got that from, King. And that's just like blatantly false, but hey, bro.
Actually, to be honest, I don't even have to. To be honest, actually, within the scan, now that I'm looking back on it, I honestly don't
Excuse
even
me.
have to prove that, like, about like the whole like non-control, like the whole like wild beast thing. It's literally stated within the scan when Loki and Harold do the equal clash. Loki literally states that you're trying to kill us. If you're trying to kill someone, that's going to infinitely raise the likelihood that you're going to be going full power because it'd be easier to achieve said goal if you were going full power.
Okay. For one, I don't agree with that because I think when you're talking about killing somebody, when somebody's trying to kill somebody, at face value at least, we'll say that they're using the amount of power that they ought to use. And then for two, I want the argument for what was the second part? I just like brain farted like a bitch. My fault. I heard what you said, but then I brain farted like mid talking. I ain't gonna lie.
I basically all I said was is that like typically when you are trying to kill someone, intuitively you'd be more likely to go full power because you're trying to kill them. You're saying because you're only going to use as much power as you would need in order to kill them. I would like you to like justify that and why that would even be like a likely like possibility.
I already said why. Did you not hear what I said, bro? Do you want the argument for why I said why follows?
Yes.
Okay, bro. That's a different question. You gotta like, articulate that better. But obviously, when we're talking about killing somebody, it would seem that you would use an ought there because, well, I mean, that's just typically what occurs when we see people try to assume any
Oh,
objective. When we see somebody use any objective, most of the time they use the level that they're ought to rather than the maximum capacity of what they have. That's why.
Okay, but I'm sorry. Can you repeat like the second half?
Typically, when people do these sorts of things, they use the ought rather than the maximum capacity.
Okay, can you prove that?
Sure, bro.
Isn't that intuitive?
Yeah, but I mean, hey, bro. I'm gonna just show him a study, bro, real quick. I'm gonna search up a quick study. All right, give me like 1 second. I'm about to use ChatGPT to give me like a study because I don't know what to search on the net, bro. So I'm gonna just tell it to, give me a study real quick, bro.
Oh,
Yo, can
The
you
hell
give me
is
a
that?
study for like basically somebody's questioning why when people assume some sort of objective, like killing, they use an art rather than their maximum capacity. I said like, typically people use arts, so that's why I think just because you're trying to kill somebody, that doesn't mean you're going full power. Um, and then yeah, that's all I really need.
top 5 funniest moments.
Okay, I need a study supporting my point, basically.
I mean, even if you grab the study, I'm not sure how you'd even like be able to correlate it back to One
Nigga.
Piece.
Bro, the study is supporting what I'm saying. I don't know what you're talking about. But
Okay,
here you
wait.
go. It's
I'm
from
also
I'm gonna send you a study on instrumental rationality from Stanford.
okay. Well, one, I'm just gonna call the study into question, and number two, even if I granted the study, how would you tie it back to One Piece?
Okay, One Piece is derived from um real life norms and obviously logic. That's why we tie it back. And then Stanford's rational because it's a college from very smart people, in which they typically do feed reliable information. That's why they got
Okay,
the study that
I
way.
I somewhat disagree with that. I think One Piece takes parts from the real world and utilizes it within a story, but I think that it also just takes a bunch of things, if not more things, that are just that are just fictitious to correlate to their story. For example, literally the concept of devil fruits, the concept of people being way bigger than they should be, the fact that the One Piece like planet is just much larger than our Earth, the fact
Do you
that
think that's
hockey
a norm, bro?
exists.
Sorry to cut you off, but like, do you think that's a norm, bro?
It's a
Like,
normal. Yes, I think it's a norm in the
do you
One Piece
think,
world.
bro? Okay. Oh my God, bro. I'm talking about the norms. I'm talking about things from the cognitive state specifically within this scenario. Okay. I'm talking about norms in that sense. What's the distinction there?
Okay, well, the distinction is just gonna be one thing is fictional and one thing is like real. So like cognitively, that's also gonna be something that's gonna be questioned. Like you can say that like okay, these cognitive functions are gonna be applicable to these real people, but how are you gonna tie this back to One Piece? Especially since cognitively, Harold is being controlled by a demon god thingy. So like cognitive
Bro.
doesn't like I don't think these two really translate.
Okay. So
I
I
think
asked
there's a
you the
much more
distinction.
like silly factor
So,
here going on.
okay. So just to be clear, the distinctions that you're providing are he's being controlled and he's a fictitious character.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think that's relevant because obviously I understand that he's not real, bro. But I don't think that then provides credence that when we're talking about his cognitive design, it's going to be something completely distinct from human ignorance, bro. Okay. And for two, I don't think him being controlled even does that either because all that's talking about is a different way that he operates. But whether or not that way that he operates is something that's distinct, to say that he wouldn't use it out there is also in question.
Okay, okay. I feel like those neither of those addressed what I said. Do you want to conclude
Sure.
on the debate?
Sure.
Okay, then I don't feel like giving conclusions.
All
I
right,
mean, if
bro.
you do, I do. If you don't, I don't.
We don't need to, bro. It's on rec.
Okay, but some say correct. This is an atrocity.
Ooh, that was tough,
Is it
man.
is it already over, bro?
I mean, it was
Um,
like an hour. I don't know what you mean by already.
yeah, bro.
Jay,
It was like
me
an
and
hour
Jay
Y'all
long
was
got
up late
ago.
two.
as hell.
Y'all got two more in you, bro. Come on.
Hell no.
Two more points,
Donut, you
y'all.
next, bro. What you talking
Nigga,
about? Donut,
Hey,
you
we need
next.
a
What you
judge,
talking
bro. Does
about?
somebody in
I'm
VC
next.
want to
I'm
judge?
next, nigga. I'm sipping margaritas on the beach, bitch ass nigga. I'm not next for shit.
Two
I'm
more,
sure you're
two more
Somebody
actually
points.
sipping margaritas at the beach, bro.
niggas not on the beach. Hey, does somebody in the VC want to judge, bro?
But do you want to do consensus?
None. I
Hell
just
no.
Wait, judge it? I can have a bunch of people look at it if you want me to.
Yo,
I
has been
bet,
one.
bro. Yeah, you could do that, bro. I'd
I'll,
like
me and
a
Gabe
bunch
Rob,
of
bro. I
people
got
look
you
at
with
it.
our judgment, bro. I got you.
Someone
All right,
save the
bro.
wreck, dude. Someone save the wreck.
So it was
Absolutely.
Loki versus Harold.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wait, can someone upload it to YouTube and then send it to me, bro? I don't.
Upload it to YouTube. And
What the fuck?
Who
I'll
here
upload
is
it.
the
I'll
proud
upload
owner
it.
of a YouTube channel?
Bro, you